Hello everybody, November 16, 2014, very cold day. I know a lot of you don't have time to watch the news, especially ABC, NBC, and CBS because of how liberal they are, so they'll never report anything bad about President Obama. But this week was a very informative week about an MIT professor, Jonathan Gruber, where he came out and they had a lot of videos where he talked to colleges especially about how they pretty much pulled the wool over the American people's eyes with Obamacare. And we're going to be suffering with that for a long time. But what also concerns me is that this guy published a paper during the Clinton administration observing that legalizing abortion saved the government $14 billion in assistance to the economically disadvantaged mothers, including African Americans, and lowered crime. And he also goes on that all the stuff that he wrote, these two other guys wrote a book called Freakonomics, relied on Gruber's work to argue the legalization of abortion was responsible for approximately 50% reduction in crime in major urban centers in the early 1990s. So here, all you people that vote Democrat, you think that these Democrats are interested in you, that they're really concerned about you. But what happens is that the way they wrote the laws and everything, and they wanted abortion so that you don't have babies. And meanwhile, the American people had 60 million abortions since the law was changed with Roe versus Wade decision. So I'm glad you all palled around with the Democrats and real happy and that they have your back. They don't have your back. It's greed. It's terrible what they did. They took advantage of the minorities and the single mothers of this country. But what does Obama care about this country? He could easily go back to Kenya and Indonesia. He grew up there. He knew about what goes on there. He'll be a king over there. But you see where that bridge is there? The Verrazano Bridge. I can only go back to Brooklyn. And I hope this country gets a lot better over the next few years, because that's the only place I could go back to and live with how bad things are getting in this country. And I just pray to God every day that I don't need medical services, because already last year I had to give up my insurance policy, which I was paying for out of my own pocket, and go with the Obamacare package. And I am suffering terrible for it. My deductibles are through the roof. They don't pay for anything. I pay a lot more than I ever paid before out of my pocket. It's terrible. And it's only going to get worse for all of you people that work for companies now. Since 2015, it's going to go into effect, the Obamacare program for companies. At the end of this video, there are two links that I'm going to put up there. Go and read these two links and read what this guy Jonathan Gruber did, okay, with implementing Obamacare. And even by his own admissions, he said they pulled the wool over the American taxpayers' eyes, and we're going to suffer forever, and that there was no transparency in this present administration at all.